Hello, Cody Firearms Museum Facebook crowd. We are live with Mr. Larry Zanoff, the Hollywood weapons guru, at the Independent Studio Services Prop House. And I just wanted to, I was in California and I randomly texted Larry like an hour ago and I was like, hey, I'm going to come in and ambush you.
Oh, so, you're always welcome here. You know that.
Well, thank you. So this is a really amazing prop house. They've got guns of all shapes and sizes. And so I wanted Larry to kind of give you guys a little tour and show us what you got.
Sure. Well, this is our modern revolver room.
Can turn the... There we go.
There you go. This is our modern revolver room. Starts out around the 1870s and then wraps around to modern time. All makes and models, as you can see. Different materials, different types of hand grips, and what you'll see when we go to the other rooms is there's always multiples of the same thing, because in the movie world you always need backups, you always have a second unit going, you need a stunt doubles gun and things like that. So we have a saying in the prop world, if you have one, you have none. And that's the reason for all of these different multiples.
So do you not have a multiple of the pink gun?
We do. The other three are actually out on set. We just shipped them out this morning. But you'll see that again, like I said, over and over again, that there's multiples because of the need for backups and things like that. So when you go to the other rooms here and you see like, wow, how many guns do you possibly need? We actually even need more than we've got here.
Oh my gosh.
Because we always run out of things, believe it or not.
So now with these guns, Larry, are they able to fire live ammo? Are they all blank firing? How does that kind of work with the revolver world?
The thing to keep in mind about all the guns that we have here is that they, for all legal purposes, they are still real firearms. We may use them to shoot blanks on movie sets, but they are real firearms. So all the legalities apply. We have to send armorers out on set. It's because of the legalities. There is still that danger zone of possibly getting live rounds and blank rounds mixed together. That's the number one thing that we try to stay away from. These are what we call manually operated weapons, meaning you don't need to alter them to shoot blanks. We have energy operated weapons like semi-autos or full autos. Those need to get altered to shoot blanks.
Cool.
So let's move on to the Western room here, and we'll...
That wasn't the Western room?
That was not the Western room. That was modern revolvers.
Oh, man. It's getting John Wayne up in here.
Let's get the light on here so we can, see a little more. This is the Western room. For obvious reasons, we have Western guns here. Gatling guns, of course, all of our lever actions and our double-barreled shotguns. Different types of revolvers, of course, even a punt gun in the corner there. That's that big old thing right there.
Punt gun. It's a very large for single barrel shotguns. So we've had a big debate at the museum with some of our guns and what is a punt gun and what is not a punt gun.
Yeah. What's your conclusion?
That thing is a punt gun.
Yeah.
We have a 4-gauge shotgun that belonged to Thomas Bennett, one of the presidents of Winchester and Oliver Winchester's son-in-law. And that gun, someone called it a punt gun, but it's actually shoulder fire, and so it's not technically a punt gun.
Yeah, because a punt, of course, is a small type of rowboat, and you would lay these things down the center line of the rowboat, and poachers would go out and hunt, ducks and geese and whatever, and then sell them to restaurants. That's why they're so big. So in one shot, you could, get a lot of game. But obviously, again, we have multiples of everything. Think of a movie that you've seen in the last 20 years. That's a Western, 310 to Yuma, Cowboys and Aliens, the remake of True Grit. Any of those, they all came out of Westworld, we supply all the weaponry for that as well. And you can see here, too, we do things with blanks, but we do things with live rounds, too. This Gatling gun right there behind you was one of the two that we had on Book of Eli. And in that movie, if you remember, they shredded the old folks' home with the Gatling gun. They just razed the wooden building to the ground. Well, that meant that we were out on a range for an entire day shooting, live rounds into wood to get the sound of wood splintering for the post-production team. And this was one of the chunks of wood that I kept just because, come on, look how cool it is.
That's really cool.
Riddling a piece of wood with a 45-70 out of a Gatling gun. How much better could you get than that? So that's 100 rounds at 100 yards.
I have to say I like that you use like cartridges to hold your guns up.
Doesn't everybody?
I don't, but
I mean,
maybe I'll
no,
start.
Come on, that's you got to do that. I mean, otherwise, what are you going to do? Put a wooden dowel in there?
Yeah.
No, you of course, you know.
Who would ever think of such a thing?
That's sacrilege.
This one reminds me of one that we have in the museum, but that one belonged to a prostitute.
Okay, then. I can honestly say that this one here did not belong to a prostitute.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Let's move along here. We'll go to the modern handgun room. So this is now what we call an energy-powered weapon, right? We're using the explosive force of the round to work the slide for the next loading cycle. Those types of guns have to be modified greatly for blank work. In the military, if you're familiar, you can have a big orange, what they call a BFA or blank fire adapter on the muzzle. On camera, of course, we can't get away with that. So we have to alter these guns internally in order to do that and get them to function. Because remember, all these weapons, they were never designed to function with blanks. They were meant to function with live rounds. And to get them to function with blanks is kind of a difficult chore, since there is no technology that you can go study for this. We have to invent it on our own. So each one of these guns has some little trick and some little technology that we've invented to make them run on blanks. And we've got a department here of 10 people, and we're all earning a good living doing it, so we must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And
cool for the people who don't know, we've got some ISS stuff at the museum.
Absolutely. We've got some of the guns from Longmire. You guys were, honored us enough by asking us to help you display. I think it's like in a pop culture
It's in a pop culture wall of a Glock exhibit.
There you go, for the 30th anniversary of Glock.
Which we just renewed. So we will have them for another year. Yeah,
which is wonderful, and we were happy to accommodate. Luckily, we were able to do that. Some days you come in here and the walls are just bare.
Yeah.
And you think, wow, that's bad for business. We don't have guns to rent. But that means that they're all out on set earning rental fees. So it's actually kind of good. You can see here things like gold Desert Eagles. Those were Demi Moore's guns in Charlie's Angels 2.
Demi Moore, that's cool.
You've got the baby Namboos here from Flags of Our Fathers, Letters from Iwo Jima. Everything in this department has rented on some show at some given time. So I hate to disappoint the viewing public, right? But for us, it just becomes just another job. It's another show we're sending things out on now. Because of federal regulations, we can track every serial number and know every show it ever went out on. Oh, cool. But unless it's something really memorable like a Gold Desert Eagle or whatever, it's just another gun that went out on another show. So.
And so if you have something that's customized, like for a specific movie, like a sci-fi something or other, now would you convert it back when it comes in so it looks kind of like a stock gun so you can make it into something else, or do you keep it the way it is?
Well, I could tell you that, but then I'd have to kill you, right?
Man.
Because it's an industry secret.
Yeah.
No, it depends on the project.
Yeah.
We obviously earn our living renting the same thing over and over and over again. So we might take apart like what we call prosthetics or cladding and then use the gun again for something else. Mostly when you do that high of a customized job, the gun is dedicated to that.
Yeah.
And so we just leave it here. It's cool to show like what our capabilities are. So when some new director comes in, we can show it to him, and then we build him something special from there. So let's move on to the rifle room. The cool thing about this place too is you got to keep in mind we provide. I know we're looking at weapons, but it's prop house. Everything's a prop. So when you're working out on like a CSI or NCIS and they need to dig a bullet out of a wall as a piece of evidence, we provide that prop. And we'll put rifling on it, and we'll smash the bullets, make it look like it's something that got fired, and it's just cool. Everything's a prop. Here's rubber guns.
I love the rubber guns. I'm always amazed. So wait, these are all rubber guns?
These are all rubber guns. We don't keep real guns just thrown
away. Well,
like that.
You never know.
So
that's pretty cool.
those are pretty cool. Rifle and shotgun room. You know, you look at some of these bays, they're 5 and 6 guns deep, so that kind of gives you an idea of what we've actually got here. Mainly World War I, World War II rifles around the perimeter, and then some law enforcement stuff. Obviously, the stuff on carts is jobs that we're working on right now. Everything from net guns to harpoon guns to World War I, you know, British Lee Enfields, and this room has a lot of history in it. This is a pretty cool room.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
It looks like some museums that I might know of.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we figure we can take Canada with ease with what we have in this one room right here, you know, considering the personnel that we've got.
Yeah.
So,
or California.
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that I might incriminate myself. But, yeah, I mean, we're lucky enough to not only have the weaponry, but we have the personnel who are professional enough and knowledgeable enough to know everything about them, how to maintain them, how to use them correctly. So we become not only on-set armorers, we kind of become technical advisors out on set as well.
Nice.
This area here is our shop area. So everybody wave at Ashley.
You're live on Facebook.
Yeah. Joey, wave to
You're
Ashley.
very excited.
So this is, we
Good.
can't really go in too far in here because you'd need eye protection and hearing protection and all that, you know, for liability reasons. But this is the shop. This is where all the nuts and bolts of the jobs get done, all of the blanking and the customization. Just the maintenance alone on the inventory is a huge effort. Pirate cannons here and flamethrowers and all kinds of different goodies. This is really cool. This was for Pirates of the Caribbean 2. This is a painted on finish that our paint department came up with. You can see it's dry, but it's supposed to look like the moss that the zombies had on their guns when they came up out of the water.
Cool.
Because after all, we are just creating illusions here, right? Into sniper rifle world. Little prop area that we've got in back where we prep things and also have what we call our primitive firearm section, or black powder firearms.
Now remind me, I feel like this is a previous conversation. Some of these are originals as well.
Some of these are original. The more ornate ones, a lot of the Turkish muskets and the North American ones that you see are real. Some of the handguns are real, but most of them are, you know, Uberti or Pieta, you know, Italian reproductions. The reality is that the metallurgy nowadays is much better than the originals. If you have an original that's in good condition, it's probably very valuable. So you wouldn't want it out on a movie set. And again, like I said, because of the need for multiples, it's hard to find matching originals. And they have to match exactly. Otherwise, it doesn't do us any good. So obviously, the challenging thing about these guns is when you're doing a period show, there's no such thing as a blank for these. So you're still pouring black powder down the muzzle. You still have to put a wad, and the only thing we're not doing is we're not launching a lead ball out of them. But all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Master and Commander, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Yeah,
Just
Vampire Hunter.
Think of a black powder job recently, and they probably came out of this inventory.
It's impressive.
It is. It is. And the thing to remember, too, a lot of people always, you know, when they come in here and they look at what we've got, they go, wow, this is an amazing collection that you've got here. And to us, it's not a gun collection. To us, it's a working inventory. We'd be happy if all of these pegs were empty and everything was out on set, because it means it's earning rental for us. So we do kind of get into some scenarios sometimes where a collector would probably have a heart attack if he saw what we do here. You know, director comes in and says, hey, I like that gun, but I want to cut it in half and put a different barrel on it and all that. And a collector's not going to be willing to do that. We provide these props for the movies. If that's what they want, guess what? That's what we do. And sometimes, you know, I personally, I'm into the history of the guns, and I'm a trained gunsmith, and working on firearms is kind of my life. So sometimes it does bring a tear to your eye to have to like butcher a gun, if you will, especially when it's a historical one. But that's what we do. You know?
Yeah.
So there's really no way around it.
I just see a comment from Michael that says, let's see some Western hardware. If you go back in the video, we were in the Western room right towards the beginning. So rewind after this is posted, and you can see all the Western guns your heart could possibly want.
Some more sniper rifles, and then we get into what we call the highly restricted room. These are the military grade weapons, you know, California assault weapons, fully automatic weapons, mortar tubes, anti-tank rifles, flamethrowers, 50 caliber sniper rifles, you know, just whatever you could possibly think of. Miniguns, we got 4 of them, and we even have a handheld version of the minigun here.
Huh.
So you've probably seen this guy on Predators. You've seen it on Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier. Probably saw it on Gunny Time, and soon to be able, you know, to see it on future shows too, like Hollywood Weapons. Which is going to be a really cool show that will be coming out on Outdoor Channel, April 3rd, 9 p.m. Was that a shameless plug? He's
plugging that because he's one of the hosts. It's going to be awesome. I was actually out on the set with them when they were filming one of their episodes, which was a Western. So
it's going to be a great show for
cool.
people that are into firearms, but also for people that are into movies. Because we'll kind of do debunking some myths or proving some myths, depending upon what happens, and it'll be really, really cool. Lots of good slow motion work from John Carter. I love seeing those bullets fly through the air, you know, with the high-speed photography. So you should tune into that again, Monday, 9 p.m., Outdoor Channel on the 3rd of April. And then contact Ashley and let her know if you like the show or not.
Yeah, and I know how to find Larry.
There you go. She knows where I live. So.
I might be able to get an autograph, maybe, someday.
Anyway, lots of cool stuff. It's very unique situation we have here. And because of some of the work we do, you know, and some of the inventory that we have and some of the personnel that we have here, we also dabble a little bit in the real world, not just television and movies. So some of this stuff gets utilized for military training. We teach foreign weapons classes to the military and to some government agencies, different companies that are building stuff for the government. We support them with their weapons needs for testing and things like that. So we manage to keep our hands in the real world, and that also keeps us current as technical advisors for the entertainment world.
Well, this has been really cool. It's been a couple of years since I've been in here the first time when I met you at a SHOT Show. I'm going to swing it back around. There we go. Hey. So if you guys liked the ISS Prop House, you guys have a Facebook page, right?
We do. We have a regular Facebook page for the Prop House, and then we have one for the Weapons Department as well.
Oh, perfect. I think I follow it.
Yeah, and we try to put stuff up. You know, the hard part is that we can't talk about anything that hasn't been released to the public yet, because we do have to sign, you know, NDAs and everything. So we have to wait until the movie comes out before we can talk about it in general. But it's always cool to be able to show these props and everything after shows come out. So watch, you know, any movies that you can think of that are coming out. You know, the Logan movie that's coming out. We did all the weaponry on that. You know, there's a King Kong movie that's going to be out on Friday. Watch that. I hope you enjoy it, and you can see some of our work. And get back onto the Weapons Department, you know, firearms page, and you can just go back and scroll through there and see some of the stuff that we're up to.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much,
You're
Larry.
very welcome.
My arm's not very long, or else we'd like totally both. There we go. Hey. Thank you guys.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you know where to put them. See ya.